Welcome to On Today's Ride. I'm Kieran, and in this episode we're on a road trip as far west as you can get from Da Nang, all the way up into the mountains towards Laos, into the area of the Kotu people, and trying to get some views like this. Okay, I'm waiting for my banh mi. I've already had breakfast, but I'm going to take a banh mi for 11s, should we say? Quick run through of the bike and gear. It's only an overnight trip, so... Well, I say it's only an overnight trip. I take the same as if I was going for several weeks. But I've got the banh mi bag on the front. I've got the top tube bag. That's got chargers and stuff in. Usual toolkit on the back with my sandals for overnight. And then somehow I forgot my frame bag, so I borrowed Joseph's, very kind of him. Slightly too big, but it does work. And I've just got a pair of, what have I got in there? T-shirt and a long sleeve jersey for tonight, because we'll be up a little bit high, and wash kit and that kind of thing. One bottle of water, one banh mi, that's all you need. Okay, we'll cut through the market. You'll get the full market experience midweek. 7:30 in the morning. Scooter madness. Ladies in non-la. Ladies in they like to wear these gowns. It looks like they're a bit Muslim or something, but they're not. They're just, well, they're keeping their clothes clean and they're keeping the sun off them as well. They're not big fans of the sun yet. We all want to go brown. They all want to stay as white as they can. Okay, I'm going full Viet. Wrong way down the highway. Quite acceptable. And Viets know that this lane that I'm in, although technically is in the other direction, is actually the lane where anything is possible. And then I'm going to have to do a bit of a maneuver at the junction, and then we'll be back on track. Up and over the Han River. Completely blue skies today. That's both good and bad. Good because it's lovely out. Bad because it means it's going to get toasty, I think. It's 7:30 now, and it is already 26, 27 degrees, so I think we could be in for a warm one. Taking the slightly more trafficy option today, but just at the beginning, just to avoid a couple of U-turns. Secret to riding in the traffic here is, as ever, 1, expect everything. 2, 360-degree vision. 3, be assertive, because otherwise they'll bully you. They'll just push for spaces, you've got to push back. Normally it works out alright. Past the near lady, into the right turn, and away from the chaos. Yay. Many bite. Where you go?
Oh.
Ada?
Milk
Mejor, me proud. Big cycling group heading out. QL 14G. That's the one for us. Once we take this corner, we're away from all the busy stuff and on the Prau road. And now we just follow this road for about another 70k all the way to Prau. No cities, no towns even, just little villages, so there's always somewhere to stop for refreshments. And already we're on the river, which is really lovely. A little bit smoggy out still, but clear and sunny and warming up. Okay, so we're on a road trip, but only an overnighter. Yeah, so I had been planning out a multi-day little trip down into the Central Highlands, which is sort of southwest of Da Nang. Why didn't I go? I'm not entirely sure. I think the main reason I didn't go is that I love Da Nang. Little metal working shop in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I found a nice place to stay, enjoying Da Nang life, enjoying hanging out with friends there and cycling together. Still had a few more rides I wanted to do around Da Nang and films to make, so I just stayed in Da Nang. But it is good to get out for a road trip, even if it's an overnight. Okay, so what's the plan? The plan is we're on the Prau road, heading to Prau. Prau is about 85k west, directly west of Da Nang city. One road, pretty badly paved road. First part's okay, up to the hot springs. I don't have any real desire to get in the hot springs today, as it's already nearly 30 degrees. Then it starts to get a lot bumpier. Couple of not huge climbs, maybe a 3k one just before Prau. We'll roll into Prau, get a little bit of lunch, and then we've got to climb up to a little village called Atieng, and then onto a homestay for the night called Lok Choi, and that's up at, I think, around 1500 meters. So views are supposed to be terrific. The price has yet to be negotiated. I'll return to that a little bit later. So that big hill dead ahead through the mists of, well, pollution, I'm afraid, is Bana. And Bana Hills, as it's called, is a big tourist attraction here in Da Nang. It has never attracted me. It's famous for this bridge of two big hands. I'll try and insert a photo of it here. I didn't know anyone who'd actually been there. Certainly none of the people who live in Da Nang had been there. Nice little river shot. But now I know someone who has been in there. The great Frankenpeddler, fellow YouTuber. He did venture where others fear to tread and reported back that it was a dreadfully tacky tourist experience, which is what I'd feared and what I'd heard. Anyway, it does have a service road going up there, which you're not supposed to ride, and it's closed to the public. I did try to sneak in there a couple of weeks ago, slashing and burning my way through the jungle, but I just couldn't. I got close, but sadly, no cigar. Okay, we're in this little town. It's probably the biggest town on the way to Prau. It's still quite early, I've only been riding an hour, but I'm going to stop for a nok mia, a sugarcane juice, because one, it is already quite hot out, so it's not a bad idea to stay hydrated. Two, I don't think there are many nok mia places sort of after here, sadly. River crossing. And three, she makes a damn fine nok mia. Step 1, the smashing of the ice. Now, if you thought all Nook Meres were the same, they're not. And the main reason they're not is because there's two types of machine. There's this one, which has like two rollers, and you pass the sticks through, we'll see in a minute, several times to get as much juice out as possible. And then there's the modern one called the macerator. The macerator, it goes through, this is my name for it by the way, and it completely extracts all the juice in one go. However, it doesn't taste as good, it's not as frothy. Oh, come on. Lovely. See the froth? That's the difference between the extractor and the macerator. Oh, moi, very good. So, added salt. Now, you might not think you wanted to add salt to sugarcane juice, but it's a good idea, especially on a hot day like this, because I'm going to be sweating and losing salt. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of quack juice, kumquat juice, and I'll just try it without. Oh man, that's good. And it's gone. Moi nin. Come on. So 10,000. It's a big cup, so 10,000 is about 30p. Definitely a bargain. Got my salt, nice bit of cold drink, and we can get back on the road. Okay, come on, don't be out. She's very friendly. She remembered me from last time, although we ran into the usual issue of me speaking a few words of Viet, and then she just thinks I speak Viet and started rattling away at me. But I just smiled back. At one point I realised she was asking me where I was going, although she couldn't quite believe that I was going to ride all the way to Atieng. Anyway, back over the bridge, back onto the Prau Road, and on for the MILF climb. Okay, superb views approaching, especially as they've cut down some of the trees here now, but we can see right into this lovely valley, which is where we're headed. There are two types of horns in this country. There's the beep beep, get out of my way, I'm coming through, or just don't move, I'm coming through. And then there's the truck horn of death, which you just heard. And in those few sharp blasts, what the horn of death is saying, get out the way. I ain't stopping. If I hit you, not my problem. You were warned. That's how it goes. So this is like the back of Bana Hills. All these trees are planted for cropping. They don't let them grow that long. They cut them pretty early. This whole valley is beginning to be turned over to them, sadly. Okay, so we got the first of the decent climbs coming up soon. Dok Kien, aka the MILF climb. Viet name Tay, i.e. foreign name. Tay literally meaning west, westerners, which is what we are. It's been sort of rolling. There's another maybe 2-3k climb to Prau before lunch, but nothing too crazy. But then after lunch, it all changes. The last 40 or 50k right up into the hills, and that will be in the heat of the day. Okay, you've seen the kit I'm carrying on the bike. I did a little run through of that. Clothing wise, I'm wearing what I now wear for touring, which is my mountain bike shorts. So that's sort of undershort with a pad in, and these overshorts, and I've got my lovely new pink jersey on. I've decided it's hot, I'm going with hot. And then superb views back down the valley we were just looking up. Again, they've cut the shrubs at the side of the road, which is nice. You get the views last few hundred meters to the top, and then we'll stop for a cold drink, refill the water. It's very hot suddenly. 9:30 now. I mean, temperature wise not so hot, but very humid, and when you're climbing you're not creating that draft, so it always feels even hotter on a climb, especially a steepy one like this. Okay. Okay, at the top of the climb, we'll come into the usual shop, get a cold drink, and gonna have to negotiate the price a little more carefully, because a few weeks back they tried to charge me double. Vietnam there. Xin chào. Might revive. Two Lan. In the Two Lan, the fridge, literally cold cupboard. I'll get a bottle of water in a minute as well. Bao Tien, Nguyen Ninh, come on. So if you know the price and you just tell them, it works out a lot easier. So I just said 10,000 and she said yep. Over the new bridge. Probably see the old bridge down below. Yeah, that was where the old road went, but it was quite liable to flooding. So they built a new bridge. Ciao. Let's go and see this footbridge. Lovely rice fields coming up. I have been over this bridge before to explore the other side, but just seems to go to a little village, nothing super exciting. Feels slightly precarious. Okay, on the final climb before lunch, 3k climb, done about a kilometre, a little steep ramp here, but generally it's not too bad, but oh my, is it hot. It's nearly midday. I'm not looking forward to this afternoon's climbs, and into Prao on this horrible bumpy road. I think they're a bit forgotten out in this part of Vietnam in terms of government funding. It used to be paved, but not anymore. Ciao. Prao is not the most beautiful town in Vietnam, I have to say, but it's got what I need. It has got a big bottle of water, it's got a can of Coke, it's got a big packet of coconut cookies, I've had my banh mi. It's very hot out, so I'm going to chill for a bit before tackling the climbs out of town, accompanied by chickens. Okay, so we're rolling out of Prao. I stopped here for like an hour and a half or something, waiting for the heat to subside. It hasn't, but that's okay. I think the main bit of the climbing's a little bit later, so hopefully by then it should be like 4 p.m. and should have cooled down a bit. But it is pretty hot. It's the hottest I've experienced here so far this year. And because I'm now riding on the Long Ho Chi Minh, aka the Ho Chi Minh Trail, for the next 20k, I should be able to get a drink or two before the main climb starts, but I wouldn't guarantee that. I have ridden this part of the Ho Chi Minh Trail before, but it was a number of years ago and I can't quite remember. But it is very pretty though, so that's the good thing. Okay, so out of town on the Dong Ho Chi Minh, the trail that now runs from Saigon to Hanoi, one road, but I don't know if you remember, if you saw my video about the Tet Special, originally it was a whole network of trails that Ho Chi Minh used to resupply his troops during the American War, as of course it's called here. And it covered not just Vietnam, but also into Laos as well, possibly into Cambodia. But now, as I say, it's just one road. Superb riding, certainly in this area, and a lot of people ride the whole thing north to south. In fact, some even walk it. Climbed up over the river a little bit. Now a bit of a descent, and then I think it's just rolling for a few K before we take the turn and up into the hills. But it's definitely clouded over, and that is a very good thing. Another suspension bridge to explore. Not actually going this way, but I feel I've got to go and have a look. Wow. Okay, leaving the Ho Chi Minh Trail, turning onto this road. Ciao. Everyone's been very friendly. Had to wave and say hello to everyone, children and adults. I mean, there must be some foreigners along here. There must be motorbikers and cyclists, but I guess it's fairly rare. Okay, straight into a 1.6k climb at 10%. That's quite steep, but it's clouded over and it's cooled down. It's now only about 33, 34. It was a lot hotter earlier in the sun, so I think I've timed it well. The final 10k climb will be the killer, but it'll be like 4 o'clock by then, so should be cool enough. So what lies up this road, and the reason why there's a homestay up there, well, it's supposed to just be very pretty up in the mountains, lovely views, but it's also this is an area of one of the indigenous groups of Vietnam. I believe there's something like 25 indigenous groups. Most of them are in the north of Hanoi, but not all. And one of the main ones that isn't is around here, and it's they seem to be called the Katu, or in Viet, the Kotu. And this is their area. So we'll see if we can spot some Kotu, and I think we'll particularly spot their houses, because they have very particular houses. They look very, very lovely. So first we got to get up there though. Still a long way to go. Okay, got to give a big shout out to my friend Jack from Hoi An for this one, because he found it. I'm not sure how he found it, but he found it. I think just peering at maps, because I know it wasn't from Strava, because I've checked Strava, the cycling website, and according to Strava, no cyclist has ever been up here. So doesn't mean no cyclist, but I imagine a lot of the guys who don't use Strava are tourers, and they probably don't want a 30k climb at the end of a big day on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. So I may be the first cyclist up here. I know Jack's a bit jealous that he's not with me. All I can say is, I wish you were here, Jack. Really. I can only assume that these are Kotu graves, because I've never seen anything like that in Vietnam before. Very different. Just coming through this little town, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was A Tieng, but it's not A Tieng. It's the next one on the map for anyone who's interested. And there was a Nani. A Nani is a cheap bed for the night, so that's worth knowing, because we didn't think there was anything else up here. And it slightly allays my fears, because I'm slightly heading into the unknown. It's possible I get up into the mountains and the one homestay's closed. I thought I was going to have to ride back to Prao, but actually all I have to do is descend to here, and then I've got a bed for the night. This is all part of the adventure. I mean, I have very little interest in sort of guided tours with groups where everything's booked in advance. I mean, that's great for, you know, some people are really into that, but for me, part of the fun part of the adventure is just turning up in the middle of nowhere and not knowing exactly what's going to happen. This has become a major thoroughfare, this road. I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, just to qualify that, I mean, yeah, it is an adventure and it is exciting, but there's also an element of anxiety, a bit of fear. It's like, what if I can't find anything? What if it's closed? So, you know, I'm not immune to that. Okay, so that fancy 4-lane brand new road that they were painting lines on was literally 200 meters back. And it's just all turned to this. I don't know what that road's doing. Viets do sort of build big roads in the middle of nowhere. They just sort of start and end with no seeming reason. It's beyond me. Anyway, I just ride what's in front of me.